Greetings, this is the L-iteral One, and this will be me reviewing all the songs in the Billboard Top 25 of the week of January 30th, 2016. At the end, I will be giving out trophies and medals to the 5 songs I felt were the best of the season, and I'll also be mentioning what I thought were the 5 worst songs of the season. So, without further ado, let's begin with...
Exes and Ohs, they haunt me like ghosts. They want me to make them whole. They won't let go. Exes and Ohs.
This song is good mostly because of the rough edge that the production gives off. However, I'm a little concerned with the lyrics here, as she plays the role of someone who goes around and gets into short relationships with men that don't last long. It just strikes me the wrong way, but hey, the production is really solid, so it's a good song.
If all I got is your hand in my hand, baby, I could die a happy man.
The fact that this song rips off Thinking Out Loud by Ed Sheeran isn't something to be completely excused. However, I'll give this song credit and say that in spite of ripping off said song, it's pretty sincere at best and merely boring at worst.
Welcome to my house, baby, take control now. We can't even slow down. We don't have to go a while.
Yeah, it's a generic song about staying inside and having a house party. But you know what? It's decent enough since the production is really catchy. Flo Rida sounds like he enjoys his own house party, but there's not much else to say about him or the song.
Talk to me, baby. I'm going up from this sweet, sweet baby. Whoa, let's lose our minds and go fucking crazy.
Ay, 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 ay. Keep on hoping we'll be cake by the ocean.
Oh, Joe, have you learned nothing from your brother Nick? This song suffers from problems that are similar to Jealous by Nick Jonas and Cool for the Summer by Demi Lovato. This song does do a decent job at being a funk track to easily dance to, but with all the profanity and the kick innuendo, it makes the song way too overly sexual. What's weird is that even though this song tries to be overly sexual, parts of the lyrics are so vague that they could be easily interpreted as literally being about baked goods rather than about sex. If Nick was scarred with the deadly sin of envy, DNCE are now scarred with the deadly sin of lust.
Why I got you on my mind? Why I got you on my mind? Why I got you on my mind? Why I got you on my heart? Don't understand.
In a song where she has a one-night stand with a guy and is now conflicted between her potentially having feelings for him and feeling that she should move on, it's fine enough. Ellie's got a lot of presence throughout the song, but I'm not really crazy about this song since I feel like the song stutters too much. On the other hand, considering how I found Love Me Like You Do to be a major disappointment, I would definitely take a potential answer song to Ed Sheeran's Don't over 50 Shades of Grey.
I know what you did last summer. Just like to me, there's no other. I know what you did last summer. Tell me where you've been.
Shawn Mendes himself is relatively fine and tolerable on this song. The main problems with the song revolve around Camila Cabello. The ahs and heys she throws in throughout the song don't belong at all and only make the song more of a drag than it should have been. Her voice still needs more training to be less choppy than it currently is. Her verses are so vague that they don't even say why exactly did she cheat on her significant other, which really hurts the framing of this song. To top it all off, both singers continuously repeat the phrase "I know" a total of 56 times.
I don't need anything to get me through the night except the beat that's in my heart. Yeah, it's keeping me alive. I don't need anything to make me satisfied. 'Cause the music does me good and it gets me every time.
This is actually a really awesome song. Rexha has a lot of presence behind emphasizing being at the club with her raw power in the pre-chorus and chorus. The cooing throughout this song is also well done. G-Eazy himself delivers a pretty solid story about him running the club. It doesn't just brag about it, it actually goes deeper into describing how it really feels about the experience of him running a club. Overall, I really do like this song, and I would recommend it.
They got the soda. Remy Boyz, they know us. All fast money, no slow bucks. No one can control us.
Okay, what is this? How did this song get as popular as it did? That's the same question I would ask to Trap Queen, which somehow became one of the biggest songs of 2015. All I see in this song is generic luxury rap with a lot of name drops, and the 1738 part is absolutely baffling. The synthetic production continues to be mediocre at best, and overall, the song isn't as bad as Trap Queen, but still not that good, and it's the kind of stuff I'm not inclined to revisit.
Don't you open up that window. Don't you let out that antidote. Popping pills is all we know.
For a song called Antidote, it is one of the countless sources of luxury rap poison that's always existed and can be very addictive. Characteristics include bragging about the following: having a lot of money, expensive products purchased with money, and stealing people's significant others. Antidote by Travis Scott is just one of countless examples of such luxury rap poison out there.
Watch out, oh watch out, oh watch out, yeah. I smash out, I smash out, I smash out, yeah. I'm spending on my fucking pay.
Ugh, washed out luxury rap who tries to call attention to his whiteness, fails to impress or even to interest me in any way. Now I don't dislike this song because of Post Malone's race. It's the fact that it's so incredibly boring and somehow getting popular like it always does. I seriously question how it managed to break the top 20. I'm calling it now. This recycled garbage will be on many critics' worst songs of 2016 lists.
In the night she hears it calling. In the night she's dancing to relieve the pain. She'll never walk away. I don't think you understand.
This is definitely one of the Weeknd's better songs, as it's not only more upbeat, it talks about a dead-eyed stripper that suffers from her job but still does it anyway to live. I would take this song any day of the week over something like, say, this.
I only call you when it's half-past, but the only time that I be by your side. I only love it when you touch me, not feel me when I'm fucked up. That's a real me when I'm fucked up. That's a real me. Yeah.
Bah humbug! While I did talk about this song in my top 10 worst hit songs of 2015, I'll still say now that this song continues to be a whiny, annoying, and contradictory mess that tries way too hard and yet not hard enough. At least the Weeknd's more upbeat songs are better than this nightmare.
Don't play with her, don't be dishonest. Ay, still not understanding this logic.
This lifeless song is just pathetic and incompetent and actually hypocritical. The hypocrisy comes from him saying at the beginning to don't play with her and don't be dishonest, and yet he clearly sounds like that he's making fake promises to the girl. More importantly, whenever you're whining that you'll be the one to treat this girl better than when the previous man didn't, you should mention what the man actually did to the girl so that at least I could buy into this song. All I ask now is please, whatever happens to the charts, don't let this song get into the top 10. This already is pretty much on a year into 2016. We don't need yet another Chris Brown wannabe to get any bigger than he already is, as if Chris Brown himself wasn't atrocious enough.
Yeah, Jumpman, them boys up to something. They just spent like 2 or 3 weeks out the country. Them boys up to something, they just not just bluffing.
What does Jumpman even mean in context of this song anyway? Well, it means nothing, seeing how it's repeated 35 times, enough to make Jumpman stop sound like a word. All this song does is drop names and have a lifeless beat throughout the entire song. I'm skipping this bullshit.
Say you'll never let me go. Deep in my bones, I can feel you. Take me back to a time only we knew how to wait.
I gotta say, what is up with those weird sound effects as part of the non-vocal parts in this song? They're not that bad, but they're just kinda weird and innocently sweet song lyrically. But otherwise, at least the Chainsmokers are indeed better off taking themselves seriously, and ROZES herself is alright.
What do you mean? When you nod your head yes, but you wanna say no. What do you mean? Hey.
Now, into the land of Justin Bieber we go. This is the best of Justin's 3 big hit songs right now, though that's not saying much. He's the least interesting aspect of his own stuff, but the lyrics are actually interesting where he questions a girl's mixed signals. The production is fine enough, though it does become elevator music and not really worth caring about.
So I'm gonna love you like I'm gonna lose you. I'm gonna love you like I'm gonna lose you.
This is far better than anything else Meghan Trainor has released so far. She's far more convincing and better off being more somber and sincere in contrast to the bouncy, immature, and obnoxious personality she built up with her first 3 hits. John Legend also proves his worthiness on this track, as he pretty much does the same thing as Meghan does. So maybe she isn't that bad? Well, I still really hate most of her hit songs, so she's still got a long way to go.
You watch me beat it till I can't breathe. Shaking body onto my knees. And now that I'm without your kisses, I'll be needing stitches.
Of the various teenage acts that are big right now, Shawn Mendes' biggest hit isn't very good. The guitar definitely sounds real, but it still sounds pretty weak. The constant comparisons of being heartbroken to actual pain don't have much drama to back up such hyperbole. At the end of the day, I just don't really care about this song.
Call me on my cell phone. Late night when you need my love. And I know when that hotline blink.
I have a theory that this song wouldn't have gone popular had it not been for the dances on Vine. And honestly, Drake comes off as controlling since he doesn't want his former girlfriend to become what he thinks is a bad girl. If he really thinks that being a good girl means stay at home and have sex with Drake all the time, that's definitely not a good thing for sure. To make matters worse, Drake sounds bored in this song, so I'm kinda glad this wasn't a #1 hit song. Also, the We Shop channel vibe I get from the production becomes elevator music, just like with What Do You Mean?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh. I ask myself, what am I doing here? Oh yeah, and I can't wait till we can break apart to hear me if I.
Now this is the slow song from the bundle of slow songs I abso-friggin-lutely enjoy. The haunting atmosphere generated from the instruments truly captures that anti-party sentiment, and the lyrics here are very well crafted as well. They all manage to be brutally honest about how she feels about the other people at the party while not outright insulting them. Alessia, Cara, you along with all the others who helped make this song, did an outstanding job on this masterpiece.
I'm so sick of that same old love. That shit, it tears me up. I'm so sick of that same old love. My body's had enough.
I never really cared for Selena, but this is easily her best hit song yet. The rough edge to her voice really is well done to emphasize the feeling of being stuck with the same outcome in the love game and wanting something that's different. Her rougher voice is also easier to like for me than her whispery voice that she's done on other songs like Good For You and Hands to Myself. And the production is really solid too, so overall, it's a real good song.
Wish we could turn back time to the good old days when the mama sang us to sleep, but now we're stressed out.
A song this laid back musically has never sounded as good as this particular song. And lyrically, it reminisces about the good times he had with his friend when they were children, which is alright. At the end of the day, I'll gladly take this song.
Cause if you like
the way you look that much. Oh baby, you should go and love yourself.
This would be the worst of Justin's 3 songs, and somehow it could end up being yet another #1 hit song. Honestly, I expected this song to be a self-empowerment song, but I didn't expect him to be telling his ex-girlfriend to pretty much leave him alone. But Justin, when you say you didn't want to write a song since you don't want others to think you care, first of all, you wrote the song and performed it anyway, and second of all, this entire song does prove you care at least a little about your ex-girlfriend. This song just isn't anything good to me, and I hope that this one starts fading away sooner rather than later.
Hello from the other side. I must have called 1,000 times to tell you I'm sorry.
Don't get me wrong, I don't hate this. It's just that I've never been a fan of Adele and never really knew her big songs, so I can't say that I love or even like her new smash hit song, that being Hello. I will say though that most people who say that this is an amazing song do make good points. But as for me, sorry to burst your bubble, but I just don't really care for this song.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry.
All I can really say about this is that Justin is still as uninteresting as ever, even when he wants to apologize. I really hope that something better comes along next season, but I don't know if that will happen. And thus that concludes this season, and honestly, there's a balance with the good, the bad, and the mediocre. The Rainbow Badge goes to Here by Alessia Cara for being a stellar anti-party song in every shape and form. The Platinum Trophy, I'm actually giving it to Me, Myself, and I by G-Eazy and Bieber Rexha. I'm honestly shocked at myself for how much the song managed to grow on me in retrospect. The gold is more tricky to determine, but I'm thinking that Stressed Out by 21 Pilots deserves the prize since it's got excellent production and solid lyrics. The silver gets handed out to Same Old Love by Selena Gomez for Selena's rougher voice working well with the context of this song. And the bronze goes to In the Night by The Weeknd for being great musically and lyrically. What about the worst? Well, Don't by Bryson Tiller gets the worst spot for being straight up awful and hypocritical. The Hills by The Weeknd continues to be whiny, sludgy, and contradictory, so it's getting second worst of the season. Hotline Bling by Drake gets the third worst, mostly because of the lyrics. The fourth worst goes out to White Iverson by Post Malone because it's boring, bland, and washed out. The fifth worst, that's going to be Jumpman by Drake and Future for all the worthless name drops and just having no substance as well. And with that, I'm the L-iteral One, and just like the change from winter to spring, I'm moving on.